Cut the music. Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto Channel. We are live. It is Monday. Bitcoin dumping. Altcoins pumping. Some of them, at least the ones I follow, are pumping. Goodness gracious, it's so frustrating. It's like, why can't you dump with the rest of the market? I want lower prices. In fairness, I did give you these trades in the last couple weeks and told you this could happen. We caught some of it. But we're out and we want lower prices. So let's see what happens. Let's see who is here today. Thanos, first man in the house. What's up, brother? Johnny number 5. What's up, man? Joe West Coast, my main man. That's Thanos, my main man. You're my guy, bro. West Coast in the house. Hawkborn, good morning. Mighty Max. What's up, dude? Max is jacked. Did I ever mention that? Max is jacked. Max, when you go post a picture in Discord and not that little avatar of a Jack Max. Speaking of jacked, what's up, Jack? Eons, good morning. Salt Chain, happy June 2nd. I was about to say June 1st, I mean. Yeah. Max wants to hear about this Dash theory. I have a Dash theory. I don't know about Dash, guys. I don't know. We're going to take a look. Jack wants XVG. Guys, if you're new here, what I did this morning. So my 2 coins I've been watching this whole time, been trading, been doing really well. We're up well over 100 grand since February, just spot trading WorldCoin and Fetch AI. Okay. But what I don't like is, over the last few weeks, at least last week, most of the altcoin market has been dumping, and Fetch and World are up like 50% or something crazy like that. So I'm never going to chase price. Okay, I'm not going to chase. So in the event that one of my 2 coins or both do not come back, I think they will. Let me start with there. I think they will. But in the event they don't, I need new coins. So I went on the hunt this morning and I put in Discord that if you give me a coin, don't just throw out any shit coin, right? Don't just throw a dart at the wall. I mean, if you're doing that, you're dumb, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but you are. You should do your research. And just because a coin went to such and such all-time high last cycle does not mean it's going there next cycle. You need to look at circulating supply, market cap. I'm more interested in the technicals, but if you have some fundamental reasoning behind it, shoot that over it. Post it in Discord. If I choose your coin, I may choose multiple coins. If I choose a coin that you give me, we should all continuously be researching. Don't get married to any one coin or any one asset. But if I choose yours, I'm going to send you 1,000 USDT, no questions asked. Okay, but don't just spam coins. Be responsible, but be a decent person. If you're going with this coin, it could affect your portfolio, so you should want to have done your due diligence, right? So anyway, hit me up in Discord or post them here in chat. We'll take a look here. I'm going to look at, Jack said XVG. We're going to look at that. I'm going to look at Dash. I'm going to show you what I like about Dash, what I don't like about Dash. There's been a couple others posted in Discord. One of them I seriously don't like. That is XDC. I think it's terrible. I don't necessarily think it's terrible. This thing could be the next Bitcoin for all I know. But technically, it looks like a very low risk to reward. But I mean, it could moon for all I know. But technically, it's going to take a massive catalyst to moon that coin. Okay. I don't mind walking you guys through that either. It's just my opinion, though. And I've been in this space. I've completed 3 cycles now. So let's see. I came in like 2017. So I did that the tail end of that bull run, kind of a half a bull run. I did the 2018 bear market, the 22 bear. This is my 3rd bear market. 3 bull runs, and I'm going into my 3rd bear market. So it doesn't mean I know everything. I just, you kind of know what to look for. And coins can surprise you from time to time, but they're going to have to surprise me. I'm not going to stake my savings on it, right? I'm just going to have to miss out. Bitcoin moving down here, guys. We looked at the monthly stats yesterday. So we were expecting this. The good news, listen, just because Bitcoin's moving down, let me go ahead and say this. Just because Bitcoin's moving down right now, I would not say that Bitcoin's opening to the downside. Oh, what do you mean, Anthony? Well, Bitcoin's only down like 2%, okay? So chances are it's moving down, but the U.S. market's not even open yet. So, I mean, they could absolutely take all this back in one 5-minute candle, right? We've seen it happen before. And then they could open to the upside and come up here and then close to the downside for the month, okay? So just because you move down through Asia and UK, I wouldn't say we're opening the month to the downside as far as whether or not we're going to set the high or low first. If that confuses you, go back. Yesterday, we posted our June stats video. Go into the live tab, and it's right there, June stats and predictions, and we went over exactly what we expect based upon historical precedents, historical statistics. So, I mean, we're like 12 hours into June, so I wouldn't say we're opening to the downside yet. However, depending on the daily close, I may say that I'm kind of torn as to whether or not I want to open to the downside or upside. Opening, let's just look. Opening to the downside, there's a 75% chance historically that the higher low is set in the first week, okay? If it's the low has all, and it's basically split 50-50. But the low has always come in the first 5 days. So the good thing about the low coming first is it's very predictable. Now, I mean, could the low come in on the 10th, 12th, 15th? Sure, absolutely. Yeah, it can. It can do whatever it wants, but it never has before. So you don't bet against 100% statistics. If you do that, you're going to lose more often than not. So based upon the 100% stat, if we do open to the downside, we can expect the low in the first 5 days. That could be the first, the third, the fourth, fifth, whatever, first 5 days. So then it's predictable, real easy to predict. We just long and we just ride it out because we're going to finish green. That's the other third bullet point here. If the low comes first, 100% of the time, if the low comes first, the month of June has closed green. So that means you can expect up only, maybe some pullbacks along the way, but at the end of the day, you're going to finish positive. If the high comes first, it's mixed as to whether or not you close green or red. It's mixed. So the low coming first is much more predictable. However, what I don't like about it is I want much lower prices. And if the low comes first, the bounce is usually 2 to 3 times larger than the initial open to the downside, okay? So that means the larger move, which is the key takeaway down here, the second move is by far the larger move. And let's show if we open to the upside, you can see there just a baby move up and then big red candle down. So if you're wanting the larger move down, statistically speaking at least, you would rather open to the upside. Now this time could be much different. I mean, we could be opening to the downside and we could just nuke. I mean, anything can happen. But historically speaking, this is what we can expect if we open to the downside. This green box is an average. Okay, for those of you who don't understand mathematics, elementary school averages, that means sometimes the low is here, sometimes the low is here, and this is the average in the middle. Okay, so if it comes here first and then bounces, it's still a win, right? It is still correct. If it comes here first and then bounces, it is also still a win, right? Right? Some people don't understand that. This is the average. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to hit it. It's just kind of, it's in the middle. Which last month in May, we nailed the average, at least to the upside. I mean, nailed it. I mean, freaking nailed it. Let's take a look real quick, and then we'll get off of this. Came right up to the average box. However, we did not hit the low box. It doesn't mean this wasn't a win, though. We did close negative, which we were expecting. We were looking for a move up into here, then a move down to here. We actually got a move and finished here, but that's the average. This is the average. So Some of them are going to be lower, some of them are going to be higher, but it was a win. Matter of fact, I'm still in this trade. I am still in this trade. I have not taken profit yet. I went and glanced at it this morning. I'm up 5,000 or 6,000. Let's see. Find it. $6,700, guys. I gave this trade to you in advance. I gave this trade to you in real time. I told you exactly. I mean, the moment that I took this in Discord, I posted it. And I'll let you know that I was not taking profit. My first take profit is set for 68.8, I think. I might adjust that. I almost took some profit this morning, but I do think we're head a little bit lower. But up 67. I gave this trade to you. I gave it to you. This is the trade that Max is up over $6,000. He's probably up 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 by now. This was the free money trade that Max took with his free $1,500 given by MEXC. Speaking of which, good news, guys. MEXC last week, I think I remember I switched back to KCEX last week because MEXC had kind of screwed up my fees. So I reached out to them. I let them know the issue, and they corrected my fees, so all good there. And in order to make up for it, they gave us an extended 30 days on our free $1,500. So I'm going to hit the chat. I'm going to spam the chat with that right now. You hit that link. Go there. Do not be logged into MEXC when you click on it because they're going to know it, and they're going to know you're trying to do something fishy. Log out of your MEXC. Get in a new VPN, whatever you got to do, new VPN location. Click that link. It's going to pull up a new registration page for MEXC. You have to click the blue register now button. You have to register with a new email address, okay? When you do that, you're going to have to primary KYC, not advanced, primary KYC, deposit $100 and leave that $100 in there for 24 hours, and then they're going to airdrop you 1,500 USDT. Lots of you have already gotten it. Some of you did not click the register now button, so you didn't get it. It does. There's a little set of like 5 rules at the bottom. It does state that. Let's click it. I don't think I'm logged into MEXC, so let's click it. I'm going to show you. And they extended us another 30 days. I'll show you that too. Just to make up for messing up our fees. All right, registration ends in 29 days now, so we're extended. If you scroll down here to these few little rules, number 3, bolded in gold, said user must click the register now button on this page. I know that some of you didn't do it. I'm not eligible. Mine says not eligible. But you got to click this blue register now button. Do what I just told you, and you get a free 1,500. Max, whenever I said that I shorted this 81.7, 81s, I shorted right here. Max 100x'd his 1,500 free dollars, and last week, right around here, he was up over $6,000. If he did not close out, Max, did you close out? He's probably up 8 or 9, maybe even 10 grand by now. Because I only 30x'd, and I'm up over $6,000. Max on 100x. Of course, I used $3,000 account. He used $1,500. I have a $90,000 margin. He has 150, so he's up way more than me. All right. Any questions, guys? Any questions before we move on? Bitcoin, the U.S. market just opened. I think it's kind of bouncing a little. I'm not interested in trading this. We lost the shaded green box. I wasn't too keen on this box anyway. This was kind of a box from last week. I didn't really like it. We're so close to this. Let me zoom out. We're so close to this dang green box. That is the only area I'm really interested in. So yeah, that's about it. Let's see what we did here. I'm going to show you guys something. All right. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but let me go back to the daily. This actually happened in April, and we missed it. We missed it. I missed it. We missed it. I don't think anybody caught this. So we opened the day here, 73,552, right? I'm on Bybit, right? Moved up immediately 0.5%. You see that? 0.55%. And then we've been dumpola since, okay? Let me show you April. Watch this, guys. Watch this. I missed this. Even though there was a stat in the historical April stats that I could have caught this on, I just didn't. I missed it. There's nothing else I can say. I missed it. April 1st. Was it April? Or was it March? It was March, I think. All right, so March opens up right here. I missed this, okay? March opens up right here with a 1% move to the downside. I mean, Bitcoin moves 1% like every hour of every day, right? And then it was up only. You had a little pullback in here, but it was up only. And we were looking for a much larger pullback in March. I don't remember what it was, 10% or something, and then some up only. And so when it pulled here in March, pulled back 1% and then moved up, I was like, okay, we're still coming back. We haven't hit even close to our average, right? And even April did the same thing. Look at April. Look at April, guys. Look at April. April less than 2% to the downside on April 1st. And then up only. I mean, freaking up only. Never came back to our low side target, okay? Sneaky, right? 2 months in a row, sneaky, because everybody, like, what are the odds, though, that a month is not going to go more than 1% up at all? Like, even if you come down, what are the odds that it's not going to go up, more than 1%? It did 2 months in a row. 2 months in a row. The last 2 months, it did that. Okay? And today we've opened up for a 0.5% to the upside. What if? What if that's the high? What if that's the high? And then it is down only the rest of the month. I absolutely missed the last 2 months. Of course, I don't trade the open. I wait to get our box. And obviously, I hit our target box for whatever month we just left, May. I hit our target box. So I didn't miss the trade. I mean, I nailed the trade. I'm up almost $7,000 in this trade. I haven't taken profit yet, so I nailed the trade. But what if? Just what if? What if it's already in? What if the high's already in? Right? March and April, it was already in, or the low was already in. The low was in on day one, and it was up only. Less than 2%. Both of them right about 1.2, whatever we just look at. Both of them less than 2%. And nobody caught it. Nobody thought, on day one, a 1% move to the downside, that's it. That's all. It's up only. Nobody thought that. Nobody. Not one person. Including me. What if that's what's going on here? I don't know. I don't think so, but I didn't think so. May didn't count. May played out beautifully. But March and April did. So just be thinking about that. The high might be in. Now, historically speaking, the high is not in. If stats play out, you come down, then you would come up and finish green. Okay? So historically speaking, and this is what I'm going to go with. But that burned me in March and April. We got in some good trades, but it wasn't what I was expecting. And actually, one of those we could have caught. We should have caught. I should have caught. Let's see. Get ready for the flashbang, guys. I think it was April. April had multiple times where you came down less than 1%, then it was up only. April. Multiple times. Yeah, it was April. And I didn't even look at it. I didn't even see those. Multiple times. 2 times where it came down less than 1% and then was up only. And if I'd have seen that, I probably would have been at least on alert that this is possible. We still got in some good trades. I'm just saying. Just think about it. Anybody have any questions? Questions? So far, this bull moon, we're in a bull moon as of yesterday, is not playing out. It doesn't mean it can, but it is not looking good for the bull moon, guys. Not yet. what are we looking like on Cypher? We're on the daily. Daily red dot has appeared. More importantly than the daily red dot, we have crossed over into unconfirmed red money flow. Okay, it will confirm if it stays red at the close of today, and that is bearish. Unless you just get a quick fake out and pop this right back into the green, you could expect some continued downside. It doesn't mean you can't bounce along the way, and you likely will, but continued downside. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly red dot confirmed. Same thing here, even more bearish. We have now crossed back weekly into the red. Now, in fairness, there's like 6.5 days before this closes, so it is not confirmed. But if you confirm back in the red, guys, last time you crossed into the red was back in January. Yeah, right here, and you got the big dump from 98K to 60K. Okay. Very bearish. Furthermore, on the weekly, you're getting Bjorn volatility has now ticked to the upside with stochastic coming heavily to the downside. Okay, unconfirmed, but by the time this confirms, Bitcoin could drop 10-15% by the time this confirms, because you got 6.5 days left. It's not like this confirms tonight. So as of now, and this could flip around, but as of now, all the signs are pointing to significantly lower prices. Questions. I'll take your questions. Give me your alts, guys. I know some of you have to have some alts. You guys just not want 1,000 free USDT? Bitcoin moving down, coming down and towards that dang green box. I would expect a reaction from this box. Look at this. Bitcoin down almost 3%. WorldCoin still up 8%. Somebody sent me, look at this crap. Look at this. Somebody sent me Nosana this morning. I didn't listen. Somebody sent me Nosana. Let's look at Nosana. Said, oh, it's on the 90-minute. Let's go to the 90. Said it's pigs nibbling on the 90-minute. Right here, right? It's pigs nibbling on the 90-minute. I said, that's not pigs nibbling. It looks similar, but to have a pigs nibbling, right, you have to have a series of higher lows here like you do. However, you cannot cross the zero line with any of these. Okay, that starts over a new series. This one crossed the zero line, negated the pigs nibbling, and I did say that this could still play out, but it is not pigs nibbling, so I'm less interested. And it wasn't an hour later, man. Not a freaking hour later. Look at this. Oops. Drop to the 5-minute chart. We'll go to the 15-minute chart. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, I completely dismissed it, and I'm glad I did it. I made the right decision. It wasn't the signal. Did it play out? Yeah, it played out, but it wasn't the right signal. 28% in one 15-minute candle. Like 26 of this percent was in a 5-minute candle. Look at that. It's crazy. 30% move in like less than 15 minutes. 30%. I could have made 30 grand. Actually, there's no way I could have made 30 grand. The volume is so light on Nosana, they never would have filmed this. I don't want to sound arrogant. This is not arrogant, but this move would not have happened if I was in this trade. Me, personally, just me. You can go look at the books and how thin they are on Nosana. And if I had a $100,000 sell order here, say I had it here, price would never have gotten above that. Never have gotten above that. There's just not enough volume on Nosana. You could not have filled my entire order right here. Would not have happened. Would not have happened. It would have reversed much sooner. I showed this on HBAR yesterday. So if you don't believe me how thin books work, go watch the stream yesterday, and I showed you how I literally caused a 0.88% reversal candle, just me, on HBAR, selling HBAR on Kraken yesterday. And I'm not even a whale. It's just what happens when you have thin books in the market. That's why you can get 5-minute 30% candles. You had somebody like me down here who probably bought $100,000, $200,000 worth, and this sucker said boom and popped straight up and came right back down as fast as it went up. This is not a scam wick, though. This was not a 1-minute candle that was up and down in 2 seconds. This was an actual, somebody bought really big right here, pumped the price, just like I dumped the price yesterday of H-bar. This was an actual buyer. And it took all the way up here to fill his order. He should have watched the video yesterday and used limit post only. I guarantee you he came out, by the time he came back down here, he was significantly less money than what he bought with. He learned. This is probably his first time to ever do it. He learned. Either that or what time was this? Wherever he was may have been early. He may have been half asleep like I was yesterday. All right, no questions then. Let's move on. What's Bitcoin doing? We're going to move on. It's 8:45. So we opened up dumping. I'm going to reverse it. I'm just not interested in this, guys. If y'all want to trade this, be my guest. I'm just not interested. You would think, where's my market sessions? It's there we go. So Asia UK dumped. So yes, according to our rule, and every time I've gone against this rule, it's burned me. But Asia UK dumped, continuous trend. So the US is most likely to reverse. I'm just not interested. I want a little lower. But technically, if I were just trading this based on market movement between the last two major markets, this is longable. This is 9 times out of 10, I would long this right now. Right now, this last little vector candle to the downside, I would have longed this open at 8:45. I'm just not touching this today. A lot of sell pressure, a lot of bear signals on the chart, but this will probably play out today. So, not financial advice, but this is longable. Got some good 5-minute divs there. Nothing on 24-minute looks terrible. Coming up a little, trying to get a green dot. 3-minute divs, 6-minute bull divs. It doesn't look good, though, guys. It doesn't look good. I'm not touching it. Let's move on. All right, I'm going to cover some altcoins. If you want me to check out your altcoin, because I'm on the prowl, guys, you will not get 1,000 USDT if I choose a coin and you have not given it to me, along with a reason. Give me a reason. I'm not looking for a book. Just a couple little sentences as to why you're interested in this coin. Something intelligent with research back. But just let me know. You don't have to give me an entire report on it. No, I don't need a research paper. If I choose your coin, you get $1,000, period. No questions asked. Gosh, dog, WorldCoin's still pumping. I'm so mad. I almost took this yesterday too. Right, where was it yesterday? Right in here, right here. I almost took it right here. This first little tick back in the green right here, I almost took it. 30-minute, 12:30. 30 minutes, money flow cross back into the green. We were still on the green on the 4 hours. The exact same setup that I gave you guys. Right here, we ticked back in the green on the 4 hour. Same thing, we ticked in the green on the 4 hour and the 30 minute at the same time. I got the 4 hour green dot. I almost bought this. I was so close. I was sitting right here and watching it, and we pumped, just a little 20%. I didn't follow my own rule that I just preached about on the stream. All good. All right, let's look at did I not save that? What is it somebody gave me earlier? XDC? Yeah, ecstasy. That's another reason I wouldn't take this. Ecstasy. So some dope coin. All right, XDC. I don't like this coin. I really, really, really don't like this coin. But I'm not being offensive. If you guys give me a coin and I dog on it, it's not to offend you or say that I'm better than you or you're dumb or you don't know. It's that we should all be looking for good coins. And I'm just going to be blunt about it, because why sugarcoat when it's dealing with your life savings? Why sugarcoat it? Be blunt. Yeah, Salt Chain, we're going to look at XVG. Jack gave XVG 2. I have not analyzed XVG. We went through, I don't know, a couple months ago maybe, and did like some, some preliminary TA on it with value range and some targets and point of control, stuff like that. But I have not looked at circulating supply and all that kind of stuff. We're going to look at that today, because I'm interested in it. But anyway, XVG, okay? XVG set an all-time high. It looks like it's been around since about 2018, so it's been around a little while. Set an all-time high right here in 2021 of, well, 19 cents. Okay, 19 cents. You're currently at 3 cents, right? Currently at 3 cents, so about a 6x from all-time high. What I don't like about it is, well, lots of things. But number one, you are pretty close to, well, let's look at last cycle high. That's more relevant, I would think. Last cycle high was 15 cents, okay? And you're at 3 cents, which is only about a 5x to there. So what I don't like about it is you're really not that far down. I mean, you're down 78%, but a lot of these coins are down 98, 99%. So you're not that far down. Even something like Fetch is like a 15x from all-time high. This is only a 5x from all-time high, so I don't like that. If you just went back to cycle high here, I mean, you're going to get a 5x, right, versus something like Fetch. And I hate to compare things to Fetch, but it's what I know. That if Fetch went back to all-time high, you're at, like a 20x from the low here, really a 30x from where it was, the bottom of it, so far this cycle. But also something like Fetch, your circulating supply is fully out there, all the way out there. Okay, and I did the research on this earlier. At your all-time high, you had on XDC, you had 12 billion coins. Okay, by the next cycle, you're going to have 25 billion coins. That's double the coins. So last cycle, you couldn't even make it back to all-time high, right? Could not even make it back to all-time high. So I don't understand how you're going to make it to all-time high in the next cycle when you have twice as many coins as you did here. How are you going to do that? The only way you could do that would be to 2x your market cap, right? That's the only way. Can that happen? Sure, that can happen. Absolutely, that can happen, okay? Let me show you what I don't like and what only comes with experience, and I'm not saying I'm right. I could be dead wrong. Let me show you the real reason, other than the fact that there's just far more coins that are much farther away from their all-time high. So if everything's just going to, or last cycle high, even if everything's going to go to last cycle high, and that's it, of course, some will exceed it, some won't make it. But if we're going to measure everything on the same guidelines, let's just call it last cycle all-time high. This is only a 5x. I don't like that. If they're on the fact that you're doubling circulating supply, I don't like it. But let me show you the real giveaway here, okay? For me, I'm on the weekly time frame here. The last, just going back to November, okay? Going back to November. And these are things you should pay attention to. 1, 2, 3 weekly red dots, okay? 3 weekly red dots, or excuse me, green dots. 3 weekly green dots going back to November. So 7-8 months, all of them. And this one's a baby green, but you actually had a pretty good move down on it first. None of them did anything but drive price down, okay? Drive price down, not go up like you would expect. And let's tag in fetch here, and I'm just going on fetch because that's what I know. Let's tag in fetch here and take a look. Look at the last 3 weekly green dots on fetch. Look at the difference. Look at the difference, guys. Since starting that first green dot on fetch, let's just say the first one, okay? Right here. Fetch has moved up 107%. Since starting the first green dot, weekly green dot on XDC, it moved down 45% and currently down 36%. That is, what does that tell you guys? What does that tell you? There's no buyers on this coin. Nobody is interested in this coin. Okay? Nobody's interested. And you might be thinking, and I'm telling you this from experience, and I could be dead wrong. I'm telling you this from experience, what I'm about to tell you right now. Somebody's going to say, but God, it's a stronger coin. It hasn't dumped nearly as much as fetch. Maybe. What it usually means, some coins it does, and maybe that's the case on this coin. I don't know this coin, but what it usually means is a lot of people bought the top, and they're not selling for a loss. Okay? That's why it hasn't dumped 98, 99%, because these people are just, they're hodlers now. They're holding. And what you're going to see, and mark my words, set yourself an alert at this all-time high. If this even makes it back to all-time high, watch what happens when it does. And all of these people that held this coin are still holding, not selling for a loss. When they get back to break even, we're going to see a massive red candle here. But nobody is buying these weekly dots. Nobody. They're selling. That's not a good thing. And this could be the next Bitcoin for all I know. I don't know anything about it. But technically, this looks terrible. And let me tell you something, guys. If you should happen to break this right here, this is a huge imbalance. If you should happen to break these lows, I mean, you could easily come down just from these lows, another 65%. From current price, you could easily come down another 70 plus easily. If Bitcoin rotates sub 60K, watch what I tell you. This thing's coming down to a penny or sub 1 penny. I just don't like this coin. You get 3 weekly red dots in a row and you dump 35%. That's not good. It's not good. Yeah, people aren't selling. But when people aren't selling, here's the difference. Let me show you a perfect difference. Zcash, a bullish coin. See how it didn't come down very far? Look at the lows. It didn't come down very far, right? From the high, last cycle high, it didn't come down very far. So 70%, okay? About like XDC, 70%. It's not down 98, 99%, right? But look at the last 3 weekly dots, green dots. Just look at them, guys. Look at the difference. It's up 2,300% on the last 3. Well, I'm sorry. Right there. It's up 1,700% from the last 3 weekly green dots versus down 35%. This is not a coin where everybody bought the top, and so they just don't want to sell for a loss. You have real buyers here. This is a bullish coin. Now, I don't buy this coin. You're at all-time high. You can't buy this all-time high. But I'm saying, just look at the difference. So you can't look at XDC and say, oh, well, it didn't drop because it's bullish. No. If it didn't drop because it's bullish, it would be running up like Zcash on these weekly green dots. It didn't drop because it's such a bad fucking coin. Excuse my language. It's such a bad coin that people are just begging to get out at break even. That's why it's not dropping, because you got everybody bought the top, thought, oh, here we go, we're about to blue sky breakout, we're about to break the high. It said, no, you're not breaking the high. Dump. This is a bad coin. I'm telling you, technically this is a bad coin. And I'm not knocking on my boy that gave it to me. This is just, you have to understand. You have to be able to look at a chart and interpret what's going on. And when you see this, 3 weekly green dots, and this happens instead, that's not a good sign. Let's look at Dash. I'll tell you what I'm interested in on Dash. I'll tell you what I'm not interested in on Dash, and I'll tell you what I am interested in on Dash. I'm not interested in Dash at all right now. God, Dash is so weird. I'm just finding this coin. First of all, you're above the weekly 200, the purple line here. If you lose that, you're coming down fast and hard. You're above it right now. But you could actually, if you lose this, which you're very likely to do, you are most likely coming down to here. Okay? Most likely come down here, which is cool. Could be a good buy opportunity. I'm not knocking this coin, okay? I'll tell you what I don't like about it. I don't know anything about Dash. I don't know anything about the fundamentals. I don't know anything. But I'll tell you technically, this is scammy as hell. You released the coin at $30,000 a coin. Back in 17, that is higher than Bitcoin. That is stupid. Tell you how stupid it is. Within a few weeks, you were down to 26 cents. That is scammy AF. Scammy. You know what it reminds me of? ICP, and look how well that turned out. Released at over $3,000, and it's come down to $1. It's scammy AF. And let me tell you, this coin's eventually going to zero. I don't care if it does this. This is a Sam Bankman-Fried scam coin, and that's what it reminds me of. Anytime I see something like that, it just screams scam. Okay, I don't know why this happened. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, it looks like it's done okay since then, right? Okay, but you absolutely have to exclude this part of your analysis. This is not relevant whatsoever. This coin will never go back to 30 grand, and you know, it likely will never go back to 20 cents either. So, however, ignoring that, I'll tell you what I don't like about this and what I do like about this. Okay. And to do that, I have to pull up a side-by-side. I'm going to side-by-side this with Bitcoin. Both of these on the weekly. All right, pay attention to this, guys. And this is how it could get interesting if this pattern continues. It may not, which is another thing I don't like about it. This coin is not predictable to me, okay? So, first of all, it was a massive underperformer last cycle. You bottomed out... Let's see, hang on. So, what I don't like, it runs opposite to everything else, and I don't like that, but it could really play out for you. As I trace here, you can see the vertical line. You can see on Dash on the left and Bitcoin on the right, okay? So, so right here, Dash was still moving down to its low. Dash bottomed in June of 2025. Most coins had already topped by then. Dash was still moving down, right? And look at Bitcoin during that time. Let's start it with the arrow. Okay, you can see my vertical lines. I'm starting at the same spot. Bitcoin was moving up. When did Dash start moving up? When Bitcoin started rotating down. It's just weird, right? Boom. That's when Dash started running up, okay? So it's just weird. Actually, to be quite honest, this is how the cycle used to be. Bitcoin would run, then it would rotate, rotation of capital into altcoins, also would run. This is how it was supposed to be last cycle. So this is correct, or has been, but that's not what happened last cycle with most altcoins, okay? Most altcoins ran with Bitcoin, This did not. This ran opposite. You can see this clear as day. So if you bought Dash, look, Bitcoin's low was right here, right? The low, the bottom was right here. Well, if you bought Dash with the low of Bitcoin, thinking, okay, Bitcoin's headed up, Dash should head up. No, Dash rotated down another 77%. I don't like that. Okay, let's compare. Take Bitcoin off and put it on Fetch. All right, so we're gonna roll back. Same time period here. This area right here we just looked at, right in here, right where I have circled. That was where Bitcoin was bottoming, right? Okay, let's put that same area right there on Fetch. Okay, Bitcoin ran up, Fetch ran up. So during the time that Dash was going down 77%, Fetch was running up 1,000%. See what I mean? However, this is where it could get really good. So I would never touch Dash right now. Dash would have to show me that it's running with the market and not against the market. But this is where, when you find something like this, if it continues to play this way, and you'll know quickly, Bitcoin starts going up, Fetch starts going up, Cardano, Doge, all those start going up, and Dash is going down, that may be a big clue that this is about to happen again. And you can make a lot of money on rotation of capital. So what happened? Fetch runs up about 1,000%, right? And then Fetch dumps right here. Fetch starts dumping, right? All right. Trace the line. When Fetch starts dumping, look at that. Dash starts pumping, right? Look at this last big pump on Dash here. Look at this. Okay, look at that. Look at that. What happened? You can see it right here. Look, you see where I'm hovering? You see where I'm hovering on Fetch right here? And look at the left on Dash. Look at the left on Dash. Look at this. Boom. Fetch dumps down from this point 88%. Look at that. From that high right there is the low right here, while Dash runs up 750%. Okay? So the way to play Dash, in my opinion, you either don't play it at all because it's not predictable. And the only way it's predictable is if you notice it running opposite of the market. But it is clearly, at least last cycle, a late mover, a second mover, or maybe even a third if you count Bitcoin as a primary mover. Coins like Fetch and Solana and stuff like that, a secondary mover, right? And then you got your tertiary or your third movers, things like Dash. So the only way to play this is when you find, if you ride a coin like Fetch up and you find it topping while something like Dash is bottoming. Let's say you rode this up. Let's just make up numbers that you 5x'd your money on Fetch. Then you sell here and you take that 5x here, and this did a 7x, but let's say you catch 3 of it. Say you catch 3x here, next thing you know, you 15x'd your money. Rather than either writing this down or selling and just walking away with your 5x, you've got a good opportunity to multiply your multiple. Okay? So I like Dash, but not right now. And Dash may very well move with the market this cycle, and this doesn't apply. But there will be coins like this that do this. So Dash, I'm going to keep on my radar, but for a late cycle last mover to possibly rotate my profits into to catch its run up once everything else is topped. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So this could be a good find. It's too soon to tell because coins can act differently from cycle to cycle. Could have been a last mover last cycle, could be a first mover this cycle. I don't know yet. However, let's try to clear some of this. See if we can get any type of indication from what we're looking at here. Not really. As of now, it's moving with the market. Maybe not as much as fetch, but you can see, you can hover here. You can see when fetch moved down here, fetch is on the right. When fetch moved down here, dash moved down. When fetch moved up, dash is moving up. Yeah, fetch is still moving up and dash is kind of coming down. Dash is really following Bitcoin right now. But that could break. See, Dash is really following Bitcoin. Look at this whole move up from 60K up. Dash moved up. Bitcoin's pulling down. Dash is pulling down. So as of now, it's following Bitcoin. If this trend breaks and Bitcoin moves up and Dash starts moving down, that's going to be your clue to watch this coin late in the cycle for possible rotation of profits into this coin and catching another big pump, okay? Don't be afraid to do stuff like that. That's how you turn $1 million profit into millions. And I'm dead serious. So thanks for giving me this coin. I can't guarantee you that I will use it. I will not use it as a primary mover, period. I don't like it. I don't. Even if you rotated back to from current price, and we could go lower, but if you rotated back to cycle high, I mean, it's only a 280%. That I don't. That's versus something like fetch from the low. If you rotate back to cycle high, that's a 2400x. That 2400%. Excuse me, 200% versus 2400%. You do the math. So I don't like it. I don't like it at all for a primary mover. Okay, but these are little tricks that you can use to catch these late cycle runners. Put this on your radar, guys. Let's look at XVG. All right, now, if you want to see how I run through a coin, top to bottom, we've already got this stuff on here, but that's not what I'm talking about. Which, by the way, we have come down to our box that I drew on here back in like February. We have come down to the target box. Pretty easy target. Look how well these arrows hold up. Look how well we've now come down to this arrow. Look how many times this has been support right here. Look at this. Gosh, dog, this is a strong area of support. If you break this line, it is going to get ugly fast for XVG. Look, you've held it. You know how that is. This will be a complete breakdown. Just like when you're bouncing lines at the top that you're holding, you get that big boom, that big rocket ship breakout. Goodness gracious, look out below if this thing breaks. And it is very likely to break if Bitcoin goes sub 60K. Oh, for sure. That's only 8%. Oh my gosh, this thing could rip. But let's go look. This is how I would approach a coin. This coin has been around since 2021. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is XVG. And I take notes, guys. I don't know. I take notes. Verge. All right. So it has total circulating supply of 16.52 billion. Okay. The current circulating supply is 16.52 billion. So no more coins will enter the market. Okay. No more coins. It's fully circulating supply. However, that doesn't mean it's good. What you have to see is what the circulating supply was last cycle and or at all-time high. Okay. So let's go to our market cap here. I want to see. And I use ChatGPT for this. You can go pull the white paper, and there's unlock schedules and blah, 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 blah. Let me make some notes here. Here's what I'm going to write down. I'm going to see when the all-time high was. I don't count this release wick all-time high. I want to know what it was like right here, November 2021. And I want to know what the cycle high was here at December 24. I know what current circulating supply is. Current circulating supply is 16.5 billion. Okay, so I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to say, what was the circulating supply of XVG November 2021 and December 2024. I'm going to write that down because that's going to affect your market cap. All right, so looks like it was the same, 16.4, 16.5, so the same. So all the coins have been released, 40 million coins, if you need these actually explanations. All right, so this is an easy one to kind of figure out because you don't have dilution of the market over a period of time because all the coins have been in full circulation this entire time, right? So now I can go back. Let me look at the market caps. I'm on CoinMarketCap. So back in, that's January of 18. There must be more history on this chart somewhere. Oh, yeah, there's more history here. Gosh, okay. So I want to know December of 2017. All right, here we get into it. Still not much difference. 15 billion at all-time high versus 16 billion now. Not much difference. Not much difference. Oh, gosh, guys. I don't know. I'm liking this coin less. I had not seen this history. Look what I'm looking at, guys. Remember we talked about if you break this level, look out below. Goodness gracious. I don't even like that line there. I really think this is more of a goodness. If you break that. Look at this imbalance. Oh, my goodness. I had not seen this. This is a legit target down here. This is a very legit target, guys. If you break this low right here, guys, could be a great opportunity, though. If you break this low right here, you are most likely fixing to come to this. That is a big drop. There's another 98% drop. I don't know if you do that, but you could. I don't know. You haven't broke this low here, these lows here, going back 9 years. So, but you are creating something like this. You're becoming a pattern bro. Something like this. So realistically, you likely are going to retest this. The question is, do you break through this on the next cycle? If not, and you come here and you just come back up to this, still 700%. You don't have to worry about dilution of supply. I like this coin. I think it looks okay. Even if you don't break this, but this is a good target. Look at these relatively equal highs. If we have a strong market and this coin breaks this trend line, you could come grab all of these. You know, it's very similar to the relatively equal highs we look at on Bitcoin sometimes. And if you do tap this trend line, and when would be the Q4 of 2029? Oh, well, maybe I don't like it quite as much. If you come grab some here and you make it back up to there, I don't like it nearly as much. But this is a coin, since circulating supply is not going to increase, a fib should work really well on. Depending on where, if you come down to this trend line, which I think you probably will, and you fib this back up to a 0.5, let's just say a 0.5, not even a golden pocket, and you picked it up at the trend line, you can still get 1,000% run up. At a 382, you're still at a 900% run up. I like this coin. I like this coin. Come on. Come on. It's not wanting to give me my range. What's up with that? Oh, it's not going to do it on the TradingView crypto. I got to find one with that kind of history. I need to find a chart on an exchange that goes back that far. I'm not going to be able to find it. I'd like to throw a range on it. It's not going to give it to me on this TradingView crypto, though. It's not going to give it to me. It's not going to let me throw a range on here. When you look at things on this TradingView crypto, just crypto, it doesn't let you throw variary ranges on them, which I would like to see. But I just think eyeballing this thing, your range is going to be something like that. So I'm going to give you my best guesstimation. If we just came back up to the top of this range, came down, tagged this trend line, bought your coins. God, even if you... I'd probably lower this. Something like that. I know I'm spending a lot of time here, guys. I still like this for an 8X. And let's fib that. I know it just did, but now that we're looking at it from this lens, yeah, you're taking back up to the 382. I like this coin. I think this is a decent coin. XVG is a coin I would be interested in if we could get back down to this trend line. I don't necessarily like it unless we do. Although this is a coin that could blast through, potentially. Got to be careful, though. You want to see a bounce here. If you do not bounce here, guys, this is a major imbalance. And you could recover it just as quick as you came up through it. You could come right back down through it, and then you're in trouble. However, this could be a lifetime buy opportunity if you got there, because if you bounce from there, you would come back up through that imbalance just as fast. How do I feel about Monero? I don't long-term hold altcoins. Let's look at it. No, there's no chance I'm interested in this. None whatsoever. It looks good. It just goes back to, I mean, there's just no chance. This is an almost exact replica of the Zcash. And just, I mean, it sold off, but not much. And then I guarantee there's weekly green dots here. Yeah, weekly green dots. It's moved back up. So it's bullish, but I mean, there's plenty of coins that are going to 10, 20x. And for this to 10x from here, I mean, you would literally have to 5x all-time high. It's just not likely to happen. There's coins that'll 10x easily. We just looked at Fetch that we're looking for a 20, 25x potentially on, back to all-time high. For this to 10x, only 10, not even 20 or 25, only 10x, you have to 5x all-time high. It's just not very likely. I mean, this has been out since 2016. You've had 10 years to get to that price. It's just not very likely. Could it happen? Sure, it could happen. It's just not very likely. This is just an awful risk to reward, in my opinion. These are the type of coin, and I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen on this coin, but these are the type of coins where people buy, like right here, expecting that type of just not, I don't even know the word, just not likely scenarios. And then when it does finally rotate down 80%, I mean, there's like people commit suicide and stuff, like, oh my gosh, I bought the top, and then it never gets back there, and it hovers in this area forever. And, they're left like 80% of their life savings is gone. I mean, you just see it all the time. You just can't buy all-time highs. You can't do it. How many coins have you ever seen 5x its all-time high? It happens. But usually those are coins that were released like last year and set a high and then came down, and then their first real cycle, they do it. This coin is about to go into its fourth cycle. And I think the odds of it 5x in its all-time high after 3 full cycles is slim to none. I could eat my words. I mean, it's like Ethereum. This is going to be Ethereum's fourth cycle. The charts look remarkably similar. What are the odds of Ethereum 5x in its all-time high? Popping up to 25 grand? Not likely at all. It barely took out the previous all-time high. It's even back here when Ethereum was bullish. Even when it was bullish, like uber bullish, Ethereum's second cycle, I was there. Everybody was talking about, Ethereum dethroning the king, dethroning Bitcoin. It's going to, the flippening, if y'all have ever heard that, it was going to flip the Bitcoin market cap. Laughable. But even then, when it was super bullish, it only 2x'd its all-time high. 2x, and that was Ethereum. I don't know that I've ever seen so much hype and chatter around a flippening of a coin, the next new thing, the new king is here, and it 2x'd its all-time high. And then it beat its all-time high by about 1% last cycle. And Monero has been around just as long, 2016, and the charts look remarkably similar. Try, and I could be wrong, guys. Listen, I could be wrong, but I'm telling you, if it happens the way you're talking, you just got lucky. Because the likelihood is not great. Let me clear this up. This is messy. I mean, the charts are similar. I mean, you had, I got the peak circled here. You had a peak there. You came down. You came down. You came out. You took out the peak. You took out the peak. You came back down. You came back down. This cycle, Ethereum barely took it out. Monero kind of blasted through it. But even then, it only did a 50%. 50%, that's good. 50% is good, but that's not a 500%, not even close. And now you've both come back down. You both come back down. There's just no way. This coin from current price would have to do like a 12x to make it even sort of worth other coins. It's just not. It's just, I would be amazed. Just like I'd be amazed if Ethereum did it. And these look almost exact. Actually, Ethereum looks better. if you want to consider the last cycle drops, look at this drop. Ethereum barely dropped. This thing dropped massively. Did it pump? Yeah, but as fast as a pump, look, this was a pump and dump. You pumped up here, and exactly 1 week later, you had dumped. So that's most likely a liquidity grab. You pumped up and dropped 44% 1 week later. You didn't do that on Ethereum. This is liquidity grab. This is controlled, structured, good buying price action. This is liquidity grab, dumpola, pump and dump. I don't know. I'm harping on it. I think you get the point. My bad, bro. How are we looking on Bittercorn? And just kind of hovering down there. Fitch finally coming down a little. Gosh, dog. Not much, though. There's going to come a coin. Somebody's going to throw a coin out there. I think Doge looked good. Somebody said Doge earlier. I have not ran through Doge, though. So I don't really know. I haven't put Doge through the old system. Let's do it. One more coin, then we'll roll. If you want me to look at something else. Max said he TP'd 50%. Still in it, though. Up 7,800. Max is up 7,800 on his free 1,500. Good job, bro. I have not TP'd yet. I'm up. I don't remember what I'm up. 6,700. That was at 71,923. We're at 71,3 now, so I'm up more than that now. I'm probably up $7,000. I've not TP'd yet. I wanted to ride it up to 10 grand before I took profit, before I took 50%. Let's look at Doge, and then we'll roll. I have not run it through, so this will be interesting. I don't know. I had that on split screen. I was looking at it earlier. I just didn't get finished. Doge has not come down to our target yet. Let's run it through the old system. I don't count this down here when Doge was released. Sub 1 penny. Since you came up out of there, you've not come below 5 cents. So I just don't know that this is sub 1 penny is relevant, although it could. Same thing as XVG. If you break this value area low, at 4 cents, this is a huge imbalance. You could come down to 1 penny or less. I don't think that likely, though. I think Doge is it's much stronger than that. But let's see. So Doge is all-time high. May 2021, and its last cycle high, December 24. First thing I'm going to do, CoinMarketCap. Circulating supply of Doge it's 170 billion total, and 170 billion are in circulation. So it's fully. Let's ask ChatGPT. Okay, so this is not good for Doge. Doge does not have a, you can see it right here. Max supply is infinite, which means it can release as many coins as it wants. It will have white paper with it that outlines how much it'll put out. So I want to know how many coins will be in Circu in, let's say, October 2029, which is the likely next peak cycle. $170, call it 170 billion. Let's look at market cap. So we had 82 billion at all-time high. Last cycle high, we had 66 billion. So you had a reduced market cap, but this was overinflated. I don't know if y'all are around back here. This was overinflated. Yeah, there were less coins, but this price, this was a pump. Elon Musk tweet, big pump. So that's probably why the circulating supply was a little bit higher here, but you didn't really have the Elon push back here, like you did here. This is still Saturday Night Live. Excuse me, Saturday Night Live push. So it's really hard to say where this is going to go to. It's a little more difficult one, but let's assume we come down to our box here, maybe tap this weekly level into point of control. And if we made it back up to cycle high, it's a 5X. I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. This looks solid. This looks solid. That's all I can say about it. It looks solid. It does not look spectacular. I don't like that you had about 25% less market cap. It's one thing to have a lower price, but your market cap could be higher even though you had a lower price because your circulating supply increased. That's not the case here. You actually had about a 25% less market cap. It just means people weren't interested in the coin. They didn't have the Elon pump. They weren't hyped up like they were. And again, this was a euphoric cycle back here for everything. We did not end on euphoria this time. So I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't like it at all from current price. This is okay. I don't love it. I'd probably pass on this coin. I'll keep it on the radar, but I don't love it. It's not the coin I'm looking for. All right, guys, any more questions? I'm starving. Marvin went to the gym earlier. I got to go eat. Hopefully we ran through a few of these alts. So I know we didn't find what we're looking for really. Possible dash, late runner. As of now, it's moving with Bitcoin, so we need it to separate. I know it's a little early, but I'm telling you guys, we should looked at this yesterday. Go watch the live stream. If Bitcoin finds a significant low in June, you need to be ready, in my opinion, or I will be ready, because some of these alts, you could get some good spot opportunities here. Some of these alts, some of them will likely bottom. Okay, even if Bitcoin sets a low later in the year, not every altcoin is likely to set a low. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm going to roll. Always remember, I love you guys. The Lord loves you, and we will see you